Hi everyone, today we're looking at literal equations. As you might have known, a literal equation is an equation with several letters, such as x, a, and b. Okay, so literal equations are similar to linear equations, but the only difference is that literal equations have several letters, whereas linear equations don't. But they use the same method of solving. Okay. So, as you see, I've put up an equation. X plus 5 is equal to b. Okay, so the first thing you need to do, we need to transpose 5 to the right-hand side. So by doing this, we're going to go minus 5 to get rid of 5 from the left-hand side, and we're going to transpose it to the right-hand side. So we're going to go minus 5 on the right-hand side. So this will cancel out, and then we're left with x is equal to b minus 5. Okay, so that's how you solve a literal equation. It's the same thing when you solve a linear equation. We need to get rid of 5 from the left-hand side, so we're going to go minus 5. And we're going to do that to the right-hand side, because if you do something to one side, you have to do it to the opposite side. So that cancels out, and we're left with x is equal to 8 minus 5. But instead, in a linear equation, you have to solve for the x, whereas in a literal equation, you only get an expression. Okay, so x is equal to 3. So that's the only difference. Okay, so now let's get into some more examples of literal equations. Okay, so now let's do x plus b is equal to a. So x has to be left on one side, and normally, if it's already positive, you leave it on the left-hand side, or whichever side it's on. So in this case, we need to transpose b to the right-hand side. So by doing this, we're going to go minus b to both sides. So now we cancel out b because b minus b is 0. So we're left with x is equal to a minus b. Okay. So that's how you solve a literal equation. Okay, so now let's get into some more complex equations. So now let's do ax is equal to b. Okay, so first of all, we need to go a divided by a to both sides. As we learned from one of our videos how to do this. Okay, so you can view that video if you like. Okay, so a divided by a cancels out, and we're left with x is equal to b of a. Okay, that's how you solve. Okay, so now let's do 2x is equal to a plus b. Okay, so first of all, we're going to go 2 divided by 2 to get rid of 2 from the left-hand side. So as we've done it to the left-hand side, we need to do it to the right-hand side. So that cancels out. We're left with x is equal to a plus b over 2. Okay, so that is our answer. So now let's do ax is equal to b plus c. Okay, so first of all, we need to get rid of a. So we're going to do a divided by a to both sides. And a cancels out, and x is equal to b plus c over a. Okay, so now let's do some more. Okay, let's do minus 3x is equal to minus b. Okay, so first of all, we need to get rid of that minus 3. So we're going to divide it by minus 3. And we're going to do that to the right-hand side. So by the way, left-hand side and right-hand side. Okay, so that cancels out. We're left with b over 3, because a minus and a minus makes a positive. Okay, so that's our answer. So now let's do minus ax is equal to minus b. So first of all, we need to get rid of that minus a. So by doing that, we're going to do minus a to both the left-hand side and the right-hand side. So that cancels out, and we're left with b over a, because a minus and a minus makes a positive. Okay, that's good. So now let's do some more. Okay, so now let's do a plus b, x is equal to a plus b. Okay, so first of all, we have an a plus b on the left-hand side. So I'm going to write left-hand side and right-hand side. Okay, so this a plus b is on the left-hand side, so we need to get rid of it. So by doing this, we're going to go a plus b to both the left-hand side and the right-hand side. So that clears out a plus b, and we're left with x is equal to 1, because a plus b divided by a plus b is 1. And in this case, a plus b divided by a plus b is also 1, but 1x is the same as x. So it doesn't matter which way you write it. Okay, so now let's do a plus b, x is equal to minus a and minus b. Okay, so same thing, we need to divide a plus b to get rid of that a plus b from the left-hand side. Okay, so when you do a plus b divided by a plus b, you get 1, so 1x, which is also known as x. And when you divide minus a and minus b divided by a plus b, we get minus 1. Okay, so also for this one, you can also write it as, you have to take out the negative first of all, and you put a bracket, and then you go a plus b, because that's the same way, because it makes it easier when you divide, because you have an a plus b. Because when you expand this, you get minus a, because minus times a, and then minus times b, which is minus b, which you get the same answer, but it's easier to write it like this. So when you cancel it out, you get minus. So you're left with minus 1 as your answer. Okay. Thank you for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video on literal equations, and bye!